right, here we go. This is live IT study, prepping for the Google Cloud Architect. So I'm going to look over here at Cloud Architecture. I thought I had it already ready. Cloud Architecture. Google Cloud Architect. I got it the wrong one. I think I have it saved. I think it's got to be Professional Cloud Architect. Yeah, there he goes. So I guess I'll put this in the description later. Start recording too. I'll be changing up a lot of stuff on my channel. This is blowing up. This is so cool. Views are going up. Watch time's going up. Subscribers. That's just one more subscriber. But still, up, up, up. Preparing for your professional cloud architect journey. So keep joining me. I'm going to get rid of all games from this channel and just focus on tech stuff. So professional cloud architect journey, here we go. I think I just stick on this one. Professional cloud architect. I think you can get it from, if you're on the skills.google page, you can go in catalog or paths, either one, and just type in like PCA, professional cloud architect. And it should be the first one, preparing. There's a renewal exam. I think this is an easier version. Accelerated path. Okay, so basically this course helps, create a study plan for the PCA. Learners explore the breadth and scope of domains. I've been studying with AI in my car, listening about all the stories. These very cool stories. I'm going to test real quick in the chat. Chat's working. So there's different parts here. It's huge. It's even been updated recently. 17 hours ago, someone's updating it, obviously at Google. It's a little advanced, so this is not for beginners. You do have to know what you're doing to get to this point. So that's maybe that might not be for you. Or here, it's going to be a smaller audience. I think in the beginning, you're going to want foundations or associates. I got my Google Cloud associate a few years ago. It expired. So I'm back. All right, so I'm going to continue. Got some Google stuff here. Oh, I want to delete this instance. I was on Google Cloud the other day. Let's just take a file back up. Nope, I'm just going to delete this thing.
Welcome to Preparing for Your Professional Cloud Architect Journey. In this course, you'll learn more about the skills covered on the Professional Cloud Architect Certification exam. Modules 1 through 4 each point at one section of the exam guide. Module 5 covers sections 5 and 6 of the exam guide.
This is cool.
In Module 6, you'll walk through the process of breaking down a case study and creating a study plan. However, it's important to clarify that this course by itself will not prepare you to take the certification exam. This is not a cram session. The exam is purposefully calibrated to test your ability to apply the knowledge required of a professional cloud architect and not merely repeat it. Cram sessions have minimal impact on your ability to pass the exam.
Yep.
Instead, the goal of this course is to help you better structure your preparation time for the exam. You'll learn about the scope of each exam session, to assess your current knowledge and skills through diagnostic questions, and review where you will find additional tools and resources to include in your study plan. In this introductory module, you'll learn about the role of a professional cloud architect, the types of resources available to support your study, and how to use the workbook in this course to create a study plan.
All right. Cool. So, automatic, going to the next activity. So this is basically from scratch. I've got one fire, current streaks count, and experience points. How does that work? Okay, so I got started on this account on the 23rd. I didn't do anything. Here's a first lab, first course, first path, path enroll. Now I'm trying to get 10 days in a row, 5 labs. There's a lot of achievements. It's just fun. It gamifies things, right? Progress. I'll go back progress. It should have my progress here. So started 3 hours ago. Oh, that's what I clicked on it first.
So, what exactly is the role of a professional cloud architect?
Oh, so it moves on. Okay.
Let's review the job role description. A Google Cloud certified professional cloud architect enables organizations to leverage Google Cloud technologies. Through an understanding of cloud architecture and Google technology, this individual designs, develops, and manages robust, secure, scalable, highly available, and dynamic solutions to drive business objectives. The professional cloud architect should be proficient in all aspects of enterprise cloud strategy, solution design, and architectural best practices. The cloud architect should also be experienced in software development methodologies and approaches including multi-tiered distributed applications that span multi-cloud or hybrid environments.
3 years.
A professional cloud architect should have 3+ years of industry experience. Cloud architect who's working for Symbol Direct, a fictional company.
Oh, okay.
Symbol Direct has been dealing with scaling issues and wants to implement solutions to help dynamically surge delivery during peak periods for customers, while also personalizing customer service experiences. Symbol Direct also wants to facilitate large-scale business-to-business orders and better predict customer demand and trends. One of Symbol Direct's concerns with B2B partners is ensuring security of partner business plans. Symbol Direct also wants to make it easier for partners to integrate with APIs to make orders and specify customizations. Symbol Direct is considering how to integrate social media into its platform. Symbol Direct's marketing department wants to highlight posts on social media platforms which feature its products directly on Symbol Direct's product pages. However, marketeers are concerned about the possibility of having inappropriate content accidentally displayed to customers.
That's really important.
As you explore the role of a professional cloud architect at Symbol Direct throughout this course, you'll focus on 3 key initiatives.
So I'm like an architect at
the beta Delivery by Drone initiative lets licensed drone pilots team up with Symbol Direct to deliver shoes and sandals to customers via drone. DBD allows customers to place their orders and get their shoes delivered in an expedited amount of time. The drones stream real-time video to their pilots as well as their coordinates so that customers can see the location of their deliveries on a map.
Okay.
Symbol Direct's second initiative is to release official APIs for partners.
Cool.
Symbol Direct wants to publish APIs in a controllable, versionable way with the ability to track, secure, and monetize.
This makes sense.
Symbol Direct's social integration service highlights images hashtagged with their products, but only after using machine learning to ensure that the images are of its products and not of any inappropriate content.
Oh, that's the danger.
The social media highlighting service is currently proof of concept. Built by a developer in their own time after hours as an experiment, it garnered a lot of excitement and interest, especially from the marketing team. However, during one of the internal demos, inappropriate images were included in the product gallery.
Whoa.
As a professional cloud architect at Symbol Direct, your role involves working with translating the business and technical requirements into a real-world implementation, often based on an existing environment.
Okay.
The architect creates the blueprint, which allows an organization to leverage the power of Google Cloud.
Yes.
As you continue through this course, you'll explore the role of a professional cloud architect as Symbol Direct defines the solution architecture for its cloud environment.
Okay.
We'll use this scenario to illustrate the types of considerations and tasks that correspond to each section of the exam guide. Symbol Direct's business and technical needs will also provide context for many of the diagnostic questions you'll encounter along the way, and highlight areas that you should spend more time learning about.
Cool.
Why become a Google Cloud Certified Professional Cloud Architect? Certification value has skyrocketed. Becoming Google Cloud Certified gives you industry recognition. It validates your technical expertise and can be the starting point to take your career to the next level.
Yeah.
You might be curious what differentiates a professional cloud certification from an associate level one.
Yeah.
The professional level certification expects the exam taker to know how to evaluate case studies and design solutions to meet business requirements, in addition to knowing about the technical requirements for customer implementation. As you explore the role of the professional cloud architect at Symbol Direct in this course, you'll also explore different sections of the exam guide, which forms the basis for the professional cloud architect certification exam. In the following modules, diagnostic questions will help you assess your knowledge of each section of the exam guide. The exam guide for the Professional Cloud Architect certification is divided into 6 sections that contain one or more objectives. We'll focus on where you can know what questions will be on your Professional Cloud certification exam, and your exam might be different to everyone else's. The goal of this course, you'll be pointed to specific resources and documentation that can help you fill the gaps that you identify. You'll learn more about how these courses relate to the sections of the exam guide as you complete the modules in this course.
So each one's
skilled badges provide hands-on experience.
So
the learning path for this certification includes in-person or online courses, online practice labs and skill badges, and practice questions.
Kubernetes in one day.
You'll learn more about how these courses relate to the sections of the exam guide as you complete the modules in this course. Skilled badges provide hands-on experience working with Google Cloud. Skill badges are learning paths consisting of labs that gives you hands-on practice with Google Cloud services or solutions. Pass the challenge lab at the end of the skills badge and you'll receive a shareable credential that recognizes your ability to solve real-world problems with your cloud knowledge. As we review the diagnostic questions in this course, you'll also get recommendations for skill badges to include in your study plan. During the certification exam, some questions may refer to a case study that describes a fictitious business and solution concept. These case studies are intended to provide additional context as you answer the questions. You can access the official case studies from the exam guide. Before you take the certification exam, review the case studies that may be used and familiarize yourself with the requirements described in each. You should design a solution for each of them and learn in detail about the resources you would use in each of their environments. This will help you answer the portion of the exam that relates directly to those case studies and ensure that you understand the services and options that you may find detailed questions about in the rest of the exam. The case studies follow a similar format. Each one includes a company overview, a description of the solution concept, information about the existing technical environment, lists that outline business and technical requirements, and an executive statement that highlights priorities and challenges. In Module 6, you'll walk through the process of analysing a case study in detail. We'll use Dress for Win, a case study from a previous version of the exam, as an example case study to examine the process. The Dress for Win case study is in your workbook. Before you take the exam, we recommend on the certification page, Google provides a different set of sample questions that can help you familiarize yourself with the format of the exam questions. After you complete the question set, you'll receive feedback. One of the primary goals for this course is to help you devise a study strategy that focuses on the areas you need to work on. Let's quickly explore how the course is set up. The course and the workbook focus on each section of the exam guide in turn. To help you craft a study strategy, you'll take diagnostic questions as part of each module. Many of these questions relate to our symbol direct scenario and ask you to apply concepts you will need to be familiar with as a professional cloud architect. Remember that these diagnostic questions are meant to help you identify gaps in your knowledge correctly right now. This is meant to be a course with diagnostic questions in each module. You will review the questions and the correct answers to identify what you need to study and where you can find more information. Remember these tips for multiple choice questions. Come up with the correct answer just from reading the question stem. Questions at face value. If certain details are omitted, then they are unlikely to contribute to the selection of the best answer.
Here we go. Pay attention.
Pay attention to qualifiers. Usually, all, never, and none, and keywords, the best, the least, and except.
Yeah.
We'll review select questions related to each section objective. As we cover each objective, you'll learn
study plan. So, here we go. Here's the workbook. I'm just going to download it. Keep. I'm going to open it. I want it in here. Let's see. I just want it in my own. Let's see if I can move this thing over. So I got my own PDF viewer here. Preparing for your professional cloud architect journey. It's kind of weird how they made it like it. Chopped it in half. Ugh, so sloppy. Okay. What if I could just do it like this? There we go. There we go. Not too sloppy now. Symbol Direct Case Study 01. So Symbol Direct is an online direct-to-consumer, Chicago-based footwear and apparel retailer, founded in 2008. Okay, and then they were acquired by Symbol Group in 2010. Okay, that's cool. And they were doing a bunch of social media stuff, and they got some nasty problems. Existing technical environment, website front-end pilot, and truck management systems run on Kubernetes. Positional data for drone and truck locations kept in MongoDB database clusters. Drones connected to virtual machines using a stateful connection. I wonder wait a second about the content here. What is the thumbnail? Ah, that's why there's no thumbnail. I thought I put a thumbnail on it. Freaking A. Sorry. I thought I did this earlier. I don't have a thumbnail at all for it. That's why there's no views. Dang it. Alright, I'm gonna do that at the same time. So direct study 3. Okay. Yeah, I'm still learning. Business requirements, technical requirements. So the business needs easy scale to handle additional demands when needed. It's reasonable, right? And expand to more test markets. Streamline development, ensure developers spend as much time on the core business. So that's time is money. Partners order directly via API. Deploy a production version. So technical requirements. This is what the developers do. Move manager services. Ensure the developers can deploy. Standardize on containers. Secure. Allow partner integration. Stream IoT data. Okay. Case study 4. Executive statement. Okay, I can come back to this later. I'm not going to go too deep into the weeds. Case study 5, existing environment. Cool. Diagnostic question 1. So Symbol Direct drones continuously send data during deliveries. You need to process and analyze the incoming telemetry data. After processing, the data should be retained, that means stored, but it will only be accessed once every month or two. And that would be it sounds warm. Maybe even cold. Your CIO has issued a directive to incorporate managed services wherever possible. You want a cost-effective solution to process the incoming streams of data. So, what should you do? Ingest data with Clearblade, ingest data with Clearblade. So we're obviously ingesting data with Clearblade IoT Core. All of them say that. Then, are you processing it with DataRep or publishing with PubSub? Again, or just stored in BigQuery? I don't think that's the right one. That sounds a little aggressive. I think it's A here. Process it with data prep and store in cold line cloud storage bucket. Because we only need it like every month or two. PubSub is every time it happens. Nearline sounds and standard it's way too common. Really cold. Oh, here's another question. How many of these we have? This thing's huge, probably, right? Oh yeah, this thing's huge. Wow, this thing is giant. Okay, so we'll come back to that later. Okay, we got the workbook. Next. Does that mean it's checked off?
Welcome to Module 1, Designing and Planning a Cloud Solution Architecture. In this module, you'll explore the scope of tasks involved in designing and planning SimpleDirect's architecture. Let's start by exploring the breadth of considerations involved in the design of a cloud architecture and the role of the professional cloud architect at SimpleDirect. As a professional cloud architect, your role involves exploring the different aspects of migrating typically means moving from on-premises to the cloud, areas that you can improve. Professional cloud architect at SimpleDirect, you need to understand what the existing environment looks like. Each element of the existing environment or infrastructure needs to be either replicated or replaced with equivalent or better functionality in your cloud solution. Your choices will be based on the availability of a replacement in Google Cloud, the business and technical requirements of a particular migration. SimpleDirect has 3 major projects: delivery by drone, partner and product APIs, and a social media highlighting service. As part of your assessment, you'll talk to the people who manage the existing environment and learn about it.
Oh, okay, it's existing.
This is a simplified version. SimpleDirect APIs project, the potential solution for Redis.
Can I speed this up?
You could do a simple lift and shift and run a VM with Redis on it. Or maybe you should consider using Memory Store, which is Google's managed Redis implementation. Business requirements are critical because they can determine whether a solution is acceptable.
Some parts and really fast on the others.
You should keep business requirements in mind when determining which solutions are appropriate. An organization's business requirements can act as a filter to reduce the number of potential available solutions, helping you to determine which is the correct one for a given scenario. SimpleDirect's management wants to ensure that the company's applications can easily scale to handle demand, so that SimpleDirect can expand to more test markets. Business leaders also want to streamline development for application modernization and new features and products. Ensure that developers spend as much time on core business functionality as possible without having to worry about scalability. Let partners order directly through an API.
Already read that.
And get a production version of the social media highlighting service functional, while they ensure that no inappropriate content is distributed. Much like business requirements, technical requirements help you determine which potential solutions would be appropriate. It's your turn to assess your experience and skills related to this section with some diagnostic questions.
Okay.
Remember, these questions are intended to help you understand or diagnose which areas you'll want to focus on in your study plan, so we don't expect you to know all the answers yet.
Maybe it's here.
Please complete the diagnostic questions that are presented next. If your learning platform does not support assessments, kindly use your course workbook.
Good grief.
The diagnostic questions in this course can be challenging, and some of them have several layers or decisions to make.
There's a demo.
Let's examine some approaches that you can use when analyzing content. We can break this demo up into multiple parts. First, a scenario. SimpleDirect developers have written a new application. Base 30 gigabytes of RAM. The key points here are the technical details. You initially run the application on Compute Engine instances with 15 gigabytes of RAM adjustments that will minimize costs. So, in order to minimize costs, what should you do?
Costs, yes, that's normal.
In this question, each of the responses has you take similar steps. You stop the instance, then you use a gcloud command to set the machine type, determine whether to set the instance metadata to preemptible, and restart the instance. This requires you to make 2 choices, what machine type to set, and whether to use preemptible machines. Once you make one of those decisions, you are left with 2 possible choices. In this case, because the instances need to store persistent...
Whoa. Now it gets fun. So this is diagnostic questions 03. Is that here? Grief. Is that already in here? Nope. Okay, so this is just... Oh, 1.2. Let's see, 1.2. No, that's 1.1. There it is. SimpleDirect developers have written a new application. Based on initial usage estimates, you decide to run the application on Compute Engine instances of 15 gigabytes and 4 CPUs. These instances store persistent data locally. After the application runs for several months, storable data indicates that the application requires 30 gigabytes. So that 15 gigabytes is not enough. Some of Direct Managers wants you to make adjustments that will minimize cost. So we need more RAM, right? So all of them say stop the instance, then use the command set machine type vn name, virtual machine name. Machine type, is it E2 or just 2? Is it standard or custom? Standard 8 or custom 4, and this 30,000 number. And do we need preemptible to be true? I don't think it needs to be preemptible. I think that's what he was talking about when he was crossing this thing out. We don't need preemptible to be true. So then do we need E2? Standard 8? Let's see.
And data locally, you can't use preemptible machines, which eliminates B and D. Evaluating the two remaining choices, you know that an E2 standard 8 instance will have the appropriate amount of memory. However, this instance will have more CPU than necessary and incur additional unnecessary costs. That leaves C as the correct answer. Custom instances are a good...
That custom 4 is the 4 CPUs. Standard 8 is 8 CPUs. We don't need 8 CPUs. That makes sense.
Way to optimize costs because you don't have to pay for resources you don't need.
Oh,
remember that standard instance sizes are based on what makes sense for most general purpose applications, but your environment may differ. Next, let's focus on question 4. This question stem tells you that you plan to set up a dedicated interconnect between two of your data centers and want to ensure that your resources are only deployed to the same regions where your data centers are located.
Okay, so diagnostic question number 4. Next one. Diagnostic question 4. Is that the same? ABCD? Nope, it's different.
You need to make sure that you don't have any overlapping IP addresses that could cause conflicts when you set up the interconnect. You want to use RFC 1918 Class B.
Oh, it says the same. It says the same. Okay, so I'm just going to read it. You're creating a new project. You plan to set up dedicated interconnect between two of your data centers in the near future. And you want to ensure that your resources are only deployed to the same regions where your data centers are located. Okay, so you got data centers and the same regions as the resources. So that's all together. You need to make sure that you don't have any overlapping IP addresses. That would cause conflicts. Yeah. You want to use RFC 1918 Class B. Okay. B. I think the B is 172. Class B 172. I think this is
B address space. Notice the key criteria: address space, default VPC network, and set up a new network that uses either auto mode or custom mode. Continuing to compare the responses, notice that you also need to decide on the network range to use to create subnets.
So you have to
You can eliminate A because default mode networks create subnets for you automatically.
172 is the winner.
And could allow people to accidentally provision resources in other regions. You can also eliminate B because auto mode networks also create subnets for you automatically. The subnets are regional, not zonal.
Yeah, 192.168.
That leaves C as the correct answer. A custom mode VPC network does not automatically create subnets. This type of network provides you with complete control over its subnets and IP address ranges. You decide which subnets to create in regions you choose and which IP address ranges you use for subnets, but only if they fall within the RFC 1918 address space. RFC 1918 Class B uses the clear scenario setup.
All right, so 1.4 diagnostic question 9. 1.4 diagnostic question 9. Okay, so you're working in a mixed environment of virtual machines and Kubernetes. Some of your resources are on-premise and some are in the cloud. That's hybrid. Mixed. Using containers as part of your CI/CD pipeline has sped up resources significantly. You want to start migrating some of those virtual machines to containers so you can get similar benefits. You want to automate the migration process where possible. Automation is always the best. This is cool. We got viewers sticking around. manually create a GKE cluster, and then use migrate to containers, migrate for Anthos, to set up the cluster, import VMs, and convert them to containers. So this is manual. Use migrate to containers, migrate for Anthos, to automate the creation of compute engine instances, to import virtual machines and convert them to containers. All right, so you want to automate as much as possible. Working in a mixed environment, virtual machines and Kubernetes. Some of your resources are on premise. Using containers as part of your CI/CD, sped up releases significant. Yes, containers are fast. These Kubernetes containers. You want to start migrating some of those VMs to containers. Okay, so you can get similar benefits with the VMs to containers. I don't think I've done this before, so I'm going to have to guess. And then there's like a skill behind guessing, right? Use manually create GKE cluster. Manually create GKE cluster. I don't think we're going to have to manually. So I think this manual is going to be out because I think we can automate the VMs to containers because I think these would be in the cloud. Some of your resources are on premises and some are in cloud. That's hard. Use migrate for compute engine. No, that can't be it. Is that? I'll be able to import VMs. I'm gonna give up. I don't know. That's really hard. I'm just gonna have to.
You were working in a mixed environment of VMs and Kubernetes.
Yeah.
Releases significantly. Next, you have a goal. You want to start migrating some of those VMs to containers so you can get similar benefits.
Yeah.
You want to automate the migration process where possible.
Yeah.
Let's identify some key information. Some of your resources are on-premises and some are in Google Cloud.
Some are on both.
Migrating some of those VMs to containers and automate the migration process.
Yeah.
Keep these points in mind as you evaluate the options. You can approach the sets of choices in this question in a few ways. But let's first identify the different Google options you could use to automate the migration of VMs to containers.
Yeah,
the responses give you three options: migrate to containers, cloud build, and migrate for compute engine. You can eliminate C because cloud build lets you build Docker-compatible containers, but you can't use it to automate the importing of VMs.
Yes.
You can also eliminate D because you can't use migrate for compute engine to create containers. Now that both your remaining options...
Whoa. Automate the creation of compute engine instances. Oh, that's weird. Automate the creation of compute engine instances. That's weird. Manually create the GKE, the Google Kubernetes Engine cluster, and then use migrate to containers to set up the cluster, and then import the virtual machines. That makes so much more sense.
Use migrate to containers. You need to make a choice based on how to use the product. Migrate to containers uses containers in GKE to migrate the VMs, but it does not use compute engine instances, so you can eliminate B. This leaves you with A as the correct answer. You must initially create a GKE cluster. Then you can use migrate to containers to set up the cluster and import the VMs. Migrate to containers is a very powerful tool that can be used to import VMs to GKE. It automates the configuration of a GKE cluster and the importing of the VMs. Migrate for compute engine is also a useful tool, but instead converts VMs to compute engine instances. Use the approach that helps you as you answer diagnostic questions throughout this course.
Okay, cool.
Remember to read the...
Yeah, that I could have got that if I actually read it completely. Oh, cool. Okay, so that's like a little test we have here. So we're going to have diagnostic questions, study plan, and then a knowledge check. So I need 80% to pass. There's 10. I need to get... How long is this? Take forever. Simple Direct is evaluating database options to store the analytics data from experimental drone deliveries. You're currently using a small cluster of MongoDB NoSQL database servers. You want to move to a managed NoSQL database service with consistent low latency that can scale throughput seamlessly and can handle the petabytes of data. That sounds super expensive. Yeah. All right. So we need to extract the data from MongoDB, insert the data into Firestore using data store. Extract the data from MongoDB, extract the data from MongoDB, create a Bigtable instance, insert the data in the Bigtable. You want to move to a managed NoSQL database. So that database is going to be BigQuery, I think. Oh man, I'm going to look up really quick. I'm going to go to BigQuery. Here we go. BigQuery. I think this is NoSQL. The BigQuery UI. Nope, not that one. Do I have? There's SQL. BigQuery. Oh, BigQuery SQL. Where was the documentation on here? Yeah, writing SQL. This is definitely SQL. This is not NoSQL. Resources. Resources. Repository. Close that. Close that. Engine Studio Overview. There we go. BigQuery in a minute. So, if you're not sure,
Give me 1 minute and I'll show you how BigQuery can help you query by uploading in batch or by streaming data directly, enabling real-time insights.
Yeah.
As a fully managed data warehouse, Google takes care of the infrastructure so you can focus. You're all set.
There it is.
Interacting with BigQuery is easy. You can use the Cloud Console UI, BigQuery command line tool, or use the API with client libraries of your choice.
Cool.
When it comes time to build, you pay for data storage, streaming inserts, and querying data. Loading and exporting data are free of charge. Storage costs are based on the amount of data stored. For queries, you can choose to pay per query or a flat rate for dedicated resources. So next time you're looking to analyze data, big or small, take a minute and look at.
Stop talking. So we want to move to NoSQL database. Okay, so BigQuery is not going to work. So maybe Bigtable. Let's go to Bigtable real quick. Oh man, it took $7 out. That's expensive. All right, let's go to Bigtable. There's Bigtable. Click a tab, specific. There it is, NoSQL database. We're going to have a Bigtable instance where we extract the data and insert the data into Bigtable. I don't know why they have Firestore in here. What? Firestore is for web pages, isn't it? Firestore? Serverless JSON MongoDB. Store some JSON data on the different. Oh, maybe. No. Enterprise grade serverless documents. Serverless. Where is Firestore? All databases. Can I see Firestore products documentation? Here we go. Here's the documentation for Firestore. Enterprise grade document database. Okay. matter if it's MongoDB or not. Why would we go from MongoDB to Firestore? I think this is just a trick. All right. Using familiar MongoDB compatible API on Firestore serverless database service, you can now use your existing MongoDB application code, drivers. Maybe. Firestore allows you to run specific queries. I'm just going to ask really quick in Google. I guess I'll just ask it in voice. Is Firestore NoSQL? Oh my gosh. That's why. Oh my gosh. When would I extract data from MongoDB and install it into Firestore? Serious MongoDB, and I guess it's a upload. Sorry, upload into Firestore. Okay, you would typically extract data from MongoDB and upload it into Firestore when you need to leverage Firestore's serverless architecture, real-time synchronization, okay, or deep integration with other Google Cloud and Firebase services. Firestore is a fully managed serverless database that automatically scales with your workload. Is that what we're looking for? You want to move to a managed NoSQL database with consistent low latency that can scale through seamlessly and can handle the petabytes of data. Oh no. And upload into Big Table. Big Table is also NoSQL. Maybe I'm wrong. You would typically extract data from MongoDB and upload it into a big table when your application involves to require the massive scalability, consistent high throughput, and low latency for large-scale, high-volume workloads that Big Table provides, which may exceed MongoDB's performance. Yeah. I'm thinking petabytes, I'm thinking Big Table. All right, let's ask AI. Let's ask AI real quick. Let's go to Gemini. Do it real quick. All right, it is Big Table. I was right. It just threw me off that Firestore is also NoSQL. So Big Table. I think the keyword here is high throughput, petabyte scale analytics, and low latency work. So, yeah. And here's Firestore, native and data store. So Big Table's for a large scale. I mean, probably need to make that a lot bigger for the screen. Oh, the max size for Firestore is terabytes. Latency single digits. low but variable, extreme scales, ideal for IoT, user profiles, catalogs. There's IoT, that's what we were talking about. Okay, manual or auto scale, fully serverless, automatic. So the big key here is that big table is petabytes. Okay. Massive scalability. That's big table for you. I wonder if I could see like a picture. Big table versus Firestore. I'm gonna say like a picture. I'm such a picture person. I'm thinking like, there we go, like a picture like this. Big table, super fast, lots of data. Firestore, a little smaller. I like that. Good API. Oh, I used to have a bunch of these. I probably do. Cloud Girl. Yeah, she drew all these, created these. There is Firestore here, and here's Big Table. These are beautiful. Firestore, good for large scale, complex hierarchical data. Good for heavy read and write events. But there's IoT here. Low latency. See, that would probably get me confused. See, it says IoT here. This is for petabytes. It's easy personalization of both. I mean, it looks good. Key value pairs. Yep, there you go. This is more for documents. Okay. Anyways, that was fun. That was just question number 1. You're creating a new project. You plan to set up dedicated interconnect between 2 of your data centers in the near future and want to ensure that your resources are only deployed to the same regions. Where your data centers? Oh, we did this. Class B. You did this. Class B is 172. That's too easy. You're working in a mixed environment of virtual machines and Kubernetes. Oh, we did this too. We already did this. Watch me get it wrong, though. Manually create Google Kubernetes cluster, then use migrate for Anthos to set up the cluster, import the VMs, and convert them to containers. Yeah. We're not migrating to Engine. We're not using Cloud Build to import it. Okay. I think the only close one was this one. But, you need to manually create the GKE cluster first. Customers need to have a good experience when accessing your web application. Oh. I need to put that in. All right, let's see. Sorry here. This is how I make these. I'm gonna go 999. Let's go thumbnail. I thought this was already in there. Oh, you know what? Oops. Do this one. Okay. My bad. Save it. So, what was that? Good experience when accessing your web application. So they continue to use your service. You want to define KPIs. This is in every company. You want to define KPIs to establish a service level objective. Which KPI would you use? So this is what number do you want to know to define, to see if the customers have a good experience when accessing your web application. So it has to be good experience. They have to be satisfied. Satisfied's a good one, but some customers don't respond. They're not happy, they don't respond. So you need to have when accessing your web. So this is when accessing your web, you need to have requests that are successful. That doesn't make sense. Aggregated over 1 minute? Doesn't make any sense. Low latency for over 85% of requests when aggregated over. No, that's complicating things. 85% of requests are successful. I'm gonna write this in, let's see, Gemini. And it's gonna say something very simple. KPI is request latency, error rate, availability, and throughput. Here's request latency. 99% of requests will be served in less than 300 milliseconds. That means they get it immediately. Fewer than 1%, 0.1% of requests will result in that 500 error, like 411 or 500. And the web service will be reachable, system may handle. So any of these things are good. So SLI over the target. Oh, do I have to have over a specific time window? Oh, maybe I do have to have that. Oh. So maybe I do need to have this when aggregated over 1 minute. Oh, I didn't know that. So 85% of requests succeed. Low latency for over 85%. And 99% of all successful HTTP requests will return, the OK status over time. Low latency. That's too generic. So I'm going to say this one. 85% of requests. We'll find out soon. Symbol Direct's employees will use Google Workspace. Your current on-premise network cannot meet the requirements to connect to Google's public infrastructure. Okay, so everybody's using Google Workspace, and the current on-premise network. Wow. If the current network can't meet it, then we may have to order a partner interconnect. Connect the on-premise network to, no, because on-premise network is garbage. Or a dedicated interconnect. Oh, I think it might be dedicated. Oh, I think it might be dedicated. Let's see. I think it's dedicated. It's either dedicated. It's got to be dedicated. I think they're going to bring in a line. Because the current connection is junk, and they need to order a dedicated interconnect from the Google Cloud partner. So that partner is an IT service that will come in, lay the line, and make sure they have a connection to Google. Was it partner? Oh, because the partner is the IT group that's coming in. Okay, let me put this on the far right. Okay, hold on 1 second. Why not a dedicated interconnect? Let's try that. It's overkill. Oh. You have to physically meet Google at a specialized co-location and manage a high bandwidth fiber connection. Oh. That's the wrong move. Dedicated interconnect is the gold standard for massive enterprises. Okay. You mentioned your current on-premise network cannot meet the requirements. If you aren't already in one of these massive data centers, You'd have to pay a last mile private circuit. It's extremely expensive. The requirement: dedicated interconnect starts at 10 gigabytes or 100 gigabyte circuits. Okay. Yeah, I was talking to a buddy about these circuits. The conflict, the requirements. Partner interconnect allow you to offload the heavy lifting to a service provider, like these guys. I used to work for one of them, who already has the infrastructure in place. Oh, cool. So dedicated, you to Google. Physically connected. Partner connect, you, the provider, like AT&T, and then Google. And it can be as low as 50 megabytes per second, which is easy, super easy. You do that with copper. 10 gigabytes per second, you need high, like super powerful fiber. That makes a lot of sense. So it's definitely going to be the partner interconnect. I don't know what all this other stuff is. No. Connect the network to a Google point of presence. No. You're working with a client who is using Google Kubernetes Engine to migrate applications from a virtual machine based environment to a microservices based architecture. Okay, so the client's using Kubernetes. Your client has a complex legacy application that stores a significant amount of data on the file system of its virtual machine. You do not want to rewrite the application to use an external service to store the file system data. Okay. You're working with a client who's using Kubernetes, migrate applications, virtual machine, microservices. So we're going from VMs to microservice. The client has a complex legacy application. And you do not want to rewrite the application to use an external service to store the system, file system data. So in Cloud Shell, create a YAML file defining, so they're all the same. In Cloud Shell, create a YAML file defining pod, container, deployment, stateful set. All four of these are different. And we're going to create a pod, or create a container, or create a deployment. I'm thinking container. I'm used to containers. I mean, virtual machine to container makes a lot of sense. Container in Google Kubernetes is running the command. Submit. Okay, let's see. Let's see what AI says. We're going to build a container. How do you do a pod? You should use Google Cloud Firestore to provide a managed storage and FS mount for your Kubernetes pods. Okay, this allows the application to continue using standard file systems without any code changes. This solution, Google File Store, when migrating a legacy application that is hard-coded to interact with the local file system, I need to make it bigger. No code changes. Create a storage class. Not the volumes. Standard file system. Migrating to it from a VM. You might want to look into migrate to containers. See, I see the containers here. So I'm going to say In Cloud Shell, can I create a YAML file defining the container? In Cloud Shell, can I create a container? Create a YAML file defining the container. YAML file. YAML. YAML is YAML. Finally. Sorry. Create a YAML file defining the container. In Cloud Shell, can I create a container? Oh, can I create a YAML file defining the container? Is that correct? Yes, you can edit YAML files directly in Cloud Shell using command line editors. I'm going to see this. Okay, let's see here. Okay, should I do the below? Let's see if AI agrees. I just want to make sure. No. What? It caught it here. Gcloud builds. Oh, wow. Gcloud build submit is used for cloud build. Oh, that didn't match up. This takes your source code and turns it into a Docker image. It does not create a container. Oh, wow. Cube control. I forget the weird word people call that. Apply. And this is the command used to actually tell GK to run your container as a pod deployment. Cube control. There it is, there it is, there it is. Apply F deployment. Jeez, I got that one wrong. I don't even know. Let me get rid of this one. Let's see, which one? Man, this test is going to be hard. Okay, cube control, apply, stateful set. It's the bottom one. It's this one? Oh my god, this is hard. Well, all three options are correct. Cubicle, cube control, whatever. The stateful set resource is specifically designed for applications that have a complex legacy relationship with their data. A deployment is meant for stateless apps. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It wouldn't be deployment. That's what I thought it was a container. Web front end, where any pod can be deleted and replaced by generic. Yeah, that's what I'm used to. Stateful set ensures that if a pod restarts, it reconnects to the exact same persistent disk. Okay. Predictable naming. Legacy applications often have hard-coded configurations or license tied to host names. Stateful set pods have stable, predictable names. Okay, again, 0, 1. Deployments have random strings, the 67DF98. Okay. Order deployment. If your legacy app requires the data volume to be mounted in a specific order, or needs to perform startup checks in the file systems before another instance starts, stateful sets handles the sequencing automatically. Okay, so pod deployment, stateful set. Temporary testing. Stateless. Deployment is stateless, and that's why it's the jumbled mess. Pods are interchangeable, nothing sticky. Not resilient, if the node dies, the pod is gone forever. stateful. Oh, that makes so much sense. Stateless and stateful. Okay, when you create your stateful set, you will use volume claim templates section. This tells Kubernetes to automatically provision a persistent disk or file store mount for the pod, ensuring that your significant amount of data is preserved even if the container restarts. So here's a YAML file, and that's what I have to create, right? Create a YAML file defining your stateful set. So you have to have this YAML file. You gotta have the API version, you gotta have the kind, stateful set, metadata, that's just the name of whatever API you're doing. Here's the specs service name, and then whatever specs you got in it. And then, let's see, rewrite once. Okay, would you like me to help you write a full stateful? No. Man, that's rough. Okay, Symbol Data is working with Symbol Retail, a separate autonomous division of Symbol with different staff and teams, data center. Okay, they're not in the same Google Cloud organization. Symbol Retail needs to access Symbol Direct's web application for making bulk orders, but the application will not be available in the public internet. Why? Because maybe for bulk orders, you want to ensure that Symbols Retail has access to your application with low latency. You want to avoid egress network charges if possible. Okay. Let me read it a little slower. I gotta think about it. They're working with Symbol Retail. Symbol Direct is working with Symbol Retail. So these are two different groups, different staff, networking teams, data center. Direct and Retail are not in the same Google Cloud organization. Retail needs to access Direct's web application. Business to business. I get it now. Okay. So it's not on the public internet. No one but these two are making the orders with each other. The retail needs to order from directs. That makes sense. You want to ensure that Symbol Retail has access to the application with low latency because they need to get the stuff that Direct is offering. Avoid egress network changes. Specify Symbol Direct's project as a shared VPC host project, and then configure Symbol Retail's project as a service project. That doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense at all. If Symbol Retail does not have access to a Google Cloud data center, use carrier peering to connect the two networks. Wait. I didn't see they're not. Just not on the same Google Cloud organization. Yeah, that doesn't matter. Verify that the subnet Symbol Retail is using has the same IP address range with Symbol Direct's subnet range. And then enable VPC network peering for the project. Ooh, that might be, it's like internal. Verify that the subnet range is using doesn't overlap with subnet range, and then enable a VPC. I think it's this one. Let's see. Let's see if that's correct. This looks right. Is the below correct? And if not, teach me. No, why not? What did I say? Pretty sure I said this one right. Has the same IP address range. Okay, make sure they don't overlap. Simple subnet range. Then enable VPC network peering. Maybe it's this one. If two networks have the same IP range. Oh, that's why. Oh, okay. huge mistake. That's a huge mistake. But it's not the best architectural choice. What? Doesn't enable VPC network peering. Suboptimal solution. Oh no, this is wrong too. It introduces several headaches for separate autonomous divisions. VPC peering requires high-level coordination between the network teams of both Symbol Direct and Symbol Retail. Because they're in different organizations, you would have to exchange project IDs. Oh, it's a headache. Better choice, Private Server Connect. If you're looking for the most professional and scalable answer, the kind usually found on Google, it knows I'm talking about the exam. You want to avoid peering and use Private Service Connect. Okay. Private Service Connect solves your problem. Low latency, no egress charge. Oh, that's the one, no egress charge. Oh, that's right. How does this Private Service Connect? Okay, so public internet, no. Okay, so they're both off. One here, it supports overlapping IPs. And it's simple. Do I have that on here? Private Service Connect? I don't see it. Private Service. Let me look into Google Cloud. Let's see. Private Service Connect. What is this? Private Service Connect. So, lets you connect privately and securely to services. Holy moly. You can access managed service privately from inside their VPC network. Similarly, it allows managed service providers to host their services on their own separate VPC network and offer a private connection to their consumers. For example, when you use Private Service Connect to access Cloud SQL, you are the service consumer, and Google is the service provider. Okay. Okay, so here we go. Here's a really good picture. Consumer VPC, producers VPC, virtual private cloud. So here's clients, services, endpoints, APIs, endpoint backbone interface. Okay. Do I have anything like that on the test? Symbol does not have access to the Google Cloud Data Center. Use carrier peering. Specify Symbol Direct's project as a shared VPC host project. Oh, there's the host and the service. Is that it? The host and the service? Oh my gosh, I don't even know. Which of these then? I don't even know. Dang. Verify the subnet range, Symbol Retail doesn't overlap. What the heck? That's what I said earlier. Yeah, those are both incorrect. That doesn't make any sense. I said, oh my god. It is this one. Yeah, it is this one. Okay, whatever, moving on. It's a test. Symbol Direct drones continuously send data during deliveries. You need to process and analyze the incoming telemetry data. After processing, the data should be retained, but it's only accessed once every month. Okay, cold. Your CIO has issued a directive to incorporate managed services where possible. Oh, we did this already. Ingest data with clear blade IoT core. All of them say that. And we're not doing pub sub. We're just going to do cold blade storage. Not BigQuery. SimpleDirect has created a proof of concept for a social integration service. It highlights images of its products. The proof of concept is monolithic. A single SUSE Linux virtual machine. The current version requires increasing the VM CPU and RAM in order to scale. You would like to refactor the VM so you can scale out instead of scaling up. You can have more VMs instead of having more powerful VMs. Okay. Let's throw this at AI. Let's see what you say. Oh, wait. Let me think about it real quick before I see the answer. What AI thinks. Move the existing code base. What? Increasing VM CPU. We're just going to scale out. That's more VMs. We're not even moving anything. Make sure the application declares any dependent requirements. I think this GKE auto scaling would be good. Make sure the application declares any dependent requirements in a text. Doesn't make any sense. So that they can be referenced in a startup script. Make sure the application declares any dependent requirements. Or does have this requirements text twice, or equivalent statements so that they can be referenced in a startup script. Let's see what AI says. Container, yeah, Kubernetes. Easy peasy. SimpleDirect developers have written a new application based on initial usage estimates. You decide to run the application on, oh my god, this has gone over an hour. I'm sorry, this is the last question. SimpleDirect developers have written a new application based on initial usage estimates. You decide to run the application on compute engine instances with 15. Oh, we did this before. So we're just going up. We have 4 CPUs. We don't need any more. We're going to not do preemptive. We're going to just have custom 4 and submit. Diagnostics, 50 points. I got 250 today. That is it. I got 80 out of 80. Oh no, what did I miss? We'll go to the very bottom because it just fresh on my mind. It's cool. Data prep is used to normalize data before processing. What? Coldline can be used, but Nearline is probably a better fit because the data can be accessed every month. Oh, Nearline. Next Nearline. Oh, there it is. What? Let's see what AI knows. Do you know? There's a big X over here. Ingest, 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 and ingest. Let's see. Do you know it's Nearline? Nearline, yep. Dang. Okay, so Clearblade IoT Core and PubSub. Since Google Cloud's native IoT Core was retired, Clearblade is recommended managed partner to bridge drone hardware to the cloud. PubSub acts as a buffer, ensuring no telemetry data is lost. Data flow, the processing engine. Data flow is the industry standard managed. I got to see some of these things to get my brain wrapped around that. Data flow. That's its own little group here. Overview. Data flow. Data flow uses. Data flow jobs use cloud storage to store temporary files during pipeline execution. These files have soft delete policy enabled by default. To avoid being billed for unnecessary storage costs, turn off the soft delete feature. So your data flow jobs used for temporary storage. Okay, so it's like moved over for a little bit, and then here's a storage right there. Interesting. It's a service that provides unified stream and batch data processing at scale. They create jobs that read from one or more sources, transform the data, and write the data to a destination. Interesting. I have learn. Learn. Try the templates, try the Java, try with Python. Oh, that's what I really wanted to do early. So ingest data with, here it is. Ingest data with Clearblade IoT. We want to look up Clearblade too. Clearblade IoT Core. Let's just do that one. Clearblade IoT Core. Fully managed service to connect, manage, and ingest data from globally dispersed devices. That's cool. Clearblade. Intelligence, SaaS, professional. I wonder if I can just look up Clearblade over here. Got some images. Clearblade. It takes up this data all over the world. What does Clearblade do? Industrial IoT. Okay, cool. Very cool. Then publishes to PubSub. Then uses Dataflow to process the data and store it in the nearline. Okay. All right. What else did I miss? Last one. Then good night, everybody. All right. I do not order partner interconnect. I'm very unsure about this. Oh man. What should you do? Not order. Okay, let's see. So we're not ordering a partner interconnect, which I thought. You should connect the on-premise network to Google Cloud's infrastructure via a partner that supports carrier peering. Oh, this one. What the heck is that? Your goal is to provide access to Google Workspace, a public Google service for employees whose current on-premise network cannot meet Google's direct peering requirements. Unlike Cloud Interconnect, dedicated or partner, which is designed to connect your on-premise network to your private VPC, carrier peering is specifically intended for enterprise-grade access to Google's public infrastructure and services like Workspace, YouTube, Maps. Bypassing on-premise limitations. If your local network cannot meet the technical requirements, like a registered ASN, reaching your Google point of presence, to perform direct peering, a partner acts as the intermediary. Okay, they provide the physical link and the technical handshake to Google's network. Okay. Lowest latency and public access. While you could access Workspace over the standard public internet, carrier peering provides a dedicated, reliable, and low latency path that doesn't compete with general internet traffic. And why these are wrong. Partner, this connects your on-premise network to your private VPC. Oh my gosh. It requires private Google access. Overly complex. Direct peering is super expensive. FTP, dedicated intercorrect, BBC access. All right, that's it. That is it. What is it passed? Woo! I just missed 2. Oh my gosh.
You'll now review the diagnostic questions and your answers to help you identify what to include in your study plan. The diagnostic questions align with these objectives of this exam section. Use the PDF resource that follows to review the questions and how you answer them. Pay specific attention to the rationale for both the correct and incorrect answers.
The whole thing takes about 8 hours.
Use the resources detailed under where to look and content mapping to build a study plan that meets your learning needs.
You can't even watch it. Yeah, next activity. I'm going to stop though. Cool. So I did 1, 4, 1, 5, 3, blah, 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 all the way down to here. So those diagnostic questions alone take an hour. Study plan was a minute. Study event resources is 30 minutes. I'll do that next time. Knowledge check, 2 minutes. Cultural overview. Diagnostic questions again. That's like a whole hour. Whew. All right. That's enough for today. Earn a badge today. How do I do that? Is that the whole badge here? Player skills. Console. Oh, I should just use it. So $7 are taken out. I can see from usage. This is all from SQL, Cloud SQL. So I need to go back to my Cloud SQL. Make sure it's all dead. Did it. Kill it. It's cattle, not a pet. They're not our babies. Alright. Compute engine. Okay, they're all zeroed out. Alright, I shouldn't have any more billing. Billing's dangerous. Do something running. Wait. Better find it. Cloud SQL. It says like 0.08 cents per second. Free trial account. What is that? Pay. Oh, sheesh. I gotta get that off later. Okay. And notifications. Services. Oh, you're still. Oh, okay, that's fine. That's not gonna cost anything. Activity. Error. It's the error here. Anyways, I'm worn out. That's it. Have a good night, everybody. I don't know if you want to review the video, but definitely go here. I'll put the course template in the chat. Oh, hey, what's up? Pramod Kardu. Hello. We actually got somebody to talk in the chat. I don't speak that language, but hello. At least hello's in there. Yeah, so if you want to do Cloud Architect, it's kind of high level, but good luck, everybody. And I guess I'll put it in the description of the chat. I mean, in the YouTube video. Have a good night. I'm moving on to maybe an hour of video games and then going to bed. I'm going to use another stream set for that. Later. Any last questions?